Good morning everyone, and welcome to the first of two rehearsals this week for the alto part, as we are learning this stunning arrangement of Vaughan Williams' The Lark Ascending. And I was just saying to everyone in my little preamble, I recorded a conversation yesterday with Charles Mutter, who is our violinist, our lark if you will, and that will be up for you to watch later on this week. And it really will be worth watching. It's not very long, it's about 40 minutes or so. We spoke about the history of the lark, we spoke about Charles's relationship with the piece when he first encountered it, and how his views on it have changed over the years. And most importantly, we spoke about this wonderful choral project and how excited he is, not just to hear the Fieri Consort's interpretation, but is so looking forward to hearing your interpretation as well. Now, the plan for this morning, our first of two rehearsals, as I say, is to get through around about 2/3, nearly 3/4 of the choral parts, but there are also some solo parts which we are going to ask you to record, and we will have two versions therefore of the lark. One will be as written, so the Fieri soloists will sing the solo parts, but we will then have a second performance which will be all you singing everything, because we're Choir of the Earth and we do that kind of thing. Now, in terms of the various sections, the chunks, if you like, if you could make sure, as I was just saying, if you could have a pen or pencil ready, and we'll go through the score and just mark up where the various sections are. And we're aiming to get through the introduction, sections 1, 2, and 3 today. Section 4 and the solos will form the basis of our rehearsals on Thursday afternoon. So I think what we should do is have a very quick warm-up. And of course I use that word carefully because it's warm enough where we are here already, but we're just going to warm our voices up and do a bit of deep breathing and so on. So if I could invite you to stand, those of you that are happy to, and if standing's not on the menu, that is of course absolutely fine. Plant your feet a shoulder's width apart anyway. If you're sitting down, feet flat on the floor please, and sitting up with a nice straight back. Those of you standing, again straight back, long neck everyone. And I just want you to take nice deep breaths in and out. Wonderful. And again. And sigh. Splendid. And again, deep breath. And a bigger sigh. There's a lot of sighing kind of figures in this piece, so it's good to be really relaxed. And just as we continue to take deep breaths in and out, we're just going to roll our head gently to one side, feel the stretch, and to the middle, and the other way. Feel the stretch along the long side, and to the middle, and forwards please, and to the middle. And we'll just repeat that exercise, whichever way you went first, go that way again. Be gentle with yourselves, but if you can, manage an extra centimetre across, or even half a centimetre, to just stretch those neck muscles. And the other way. Click, click, click. And to the middle and forwards, please. Lovely. And just let your head gently roll around within those three movements, left, right, and forwards. Great job, thank you, altos. Okay, so let's start down here, and we're just going to hum up and down again. Nice deep breath, and again. Yeah, my alto voice is almost back to full strength after COVID, but my C sharp's not there. For me, it's the top of my range, and over some of you, it's approaching the top two. Now, the sections that we're going to work through, as I say, are the introduction, section 1, section 2, and section 3. The vast majority of the introduction, section 1, is all nice and low. Relatively speaking, the highest note in section 1, which is quite long, it's about a B flat. Then as we move into section 2, there is the option for first and second alto split, and there are a couple of points where you will be needing to sing a D, but it will usually be quite loud. And then section 3, there's even an E, but that would be for first altos only. Okay, so don't worry, second altos. And the general note for all of this is, if you're singing a section as a part that is just too high, don't sing those high notes. Sing either side of them, of course. Sing up to them, but don't necessarily go for the high note if you know full well that it's not going to do you any good. Now, let's just quickly talk about the structure of the piece, and this is where you'll need to have your pencils / highlighters at the ready. Now, the piece begins on page 3 of the score, and the introduction is the first 2 pages, everything from the very, very start to figure 2, which you'll find on page 5 of the score. So we're calling that the intro. It's really very simple. We'll look at that in a moment. I say simple, at least in terms of the music. It is going to require us to be really very disciplined in terms of our staggered breathing, and we will need to hold an F sharp for about a minute. Okay, so it's a long sort of drone on that chord there, on that note. So that's the intro. Now section 1, what we're calling section 1, is all wordless and uses and R as the main sounds. And this runs from figure 2 at the top of page 5 through to figure 13, which is at the bottom of page 10. Okay, so I'll say that again. Section 1, not the introduction, section 1 is 2 to 13. So that's the top of page 5 down to the bottom of page 10. This is the most extensive section, at least for now. Now, section 2 runs from the bottom of page 10 at figure 13 to the bottom of page 13, just before figure 20. So it runs from bottom of page 10 to the bottom of page 13, effectively figure 13 to figure 20. That is section 2. Okay. And then section 3 runs from the top of page 14, which is figure 20, and that runs then through to the top of page 20 at figure 29. So that is section 3. I'll just say that again. Section 3 runs from the top of page 14, figure 20, through to the top of page 20, which is figure 29. And then section 4 is figure 29 there to the top of 20 to the end. So we have introduction, section 1, section 2, section 3, and section 4. Now our job for today, if we can, is to get through introduction, section 1, section 2, and section 3. That will then leave us with section 4 to learn, and then we'll do the solo parts. Okay, so we're going to learn only the choir parts today. Next time we'll finish the choir parts for section 4, and then we'll do all of the solos for the entire piece. There isn't an enormous amount of solo work for you altos. There is some, and some of it's absolutely lovely, but it's not going to take us by any means very long to learn it all. So that's the plan. Let's get started, shall we? So please turn to the start of your score, page 3, and we'll look at the intro. Now, the introduction is really, as I say, quite simple musically, very simple actually. It is just these figures with these parallel fifths. Kind of thing that if you wrote down in a composition lesson in formal music education would be covered with red pen. Nope, we don't write parallel fifths because it sounds like, you know, organum, it sounds like medieval music, but of course that's part of this. This whole piece is steeped in musical history. Now, let's have a look at what you need to sing here. First of all, note please the dynamic. 3 Ps, really, really soft, very soft indeed. The sound that we'll be making is an and it's quite a forward sound. And so altos we sing from the opening, it is. and then we hold that F sharp, staggering the breathing as we go, and we hold it for quite a long time. And as we sing, we're going to keep an eye on the violin part. Now, in this case, and I know people say there's no way I could possibly ever read that. Well, we're not going to ask you to read the pitches, but as you follow the lark's line, Charles's wonderful playing, you will be able to start to spot various patterns. And a couple of places I might suggest that you look out for. At the top of page 4, you've got all these which of course is replicating the bird song, and listen out for them. And the most you can start to see the patterns to give you an indication of how long you have until you've got to stop singing, which of course is at the end of the second line there on page 4. What I think we'll do, as it really is as straightforward as that, is let's sing that introduction together along with the Fieri Consort soloist. Quick sip of drink. Oh, lovely coffee. Okay, so we're going to start here. So remember, nice and soft, and let's take it from the beginning. Nice deep breath. Here we go. Hold it. Breathe wherever you like. Second line on page 4. Keep holding that note. Not long to go now. Three notes. And there you are. Beautiful playing, Charles. So that is the introduction. It's, as I say, relatively simple musically, but not the easiest thing in the world for us to pitch. Be really careful when it comes to staggering the breathing, that when you come back in, you're coming in at just the right pitch, that we're not sort of going or coming in from underneath, or stop singing and then make sure you're happy with the note before you come back in. And we have all sorts of wonderful technical tricks here that can get rid of the breaths and so on. But it'd be really lovely if you were focusing on that note really carefully. Use the one voice louder part, of course, and avail yourself of that, because it's absolutely essential for getting through that. Okay, so that's the introduction. Helena's saying, can we have our lips open when singing the No, let's have an please. That's a really good question, Helena. I really would prefer, in this case, an because it's a different sound to the and it's specified very carefully here as by Paul. And this is because we want to create the sound of a muted string section, and that's a closed sound rather than okay. So it's a great question, but please everyone record thank you. Wonderful. Now then, let's have a little look at section 1. So this is the most substantial of the 4 sections, and it is largely, let me just double check before I say something that's not true, it's wordless. We sing and ah, and I want to be really clear here. If we look at the top of page 5, please, altos, you'll see the words are written in as as and this is there's a little asterisk there saying half open neutral vowel, and that to me suggests only one sound, which is the in station the sound commonly known as the schwa in English language, and it should just be a sort of relaxed sort of sound. Now notice it's not ah. Now when I teach singing, and I teach quite a lot, and I'm always about making sure you're singing ah, and so on, but this is not that sound. We're not trying to create a big resonant operatic sound. That comes later. What we're trying to do is to create the sound of stringed instruments with mutes on, okay, which is an sound. So let's just say that together. So just let your jaw open about halfway, relax your mouth, and just go for me, and lovely. That's the sound. That's what we want. So now let's have a look at your line from figure 2. So this is the start, everyone, of section 1, and we have 4 bars. It's almost like a little introductory figure of just rocking up and down. Just 4 bars of the same thing, and it should just be very, very gentle, very, very smooth. Often I would say to you, grow to the middle of that. No, it should all just be very plain, and so it is. Okay, let's try that together. Now, it does obviously carry on in the 5th bar after the start, but this is 4 bars of the same, and it's a good way to practice this neutral sound. Nice deep breath, and lovely. Now we've arrived at the last bar, top of 5, and still in the sound and carrying on. No breaths should be heard. We're just going to stagger the breathing throughout this whole section. So we've just sung, and now the last bar is, so it is, and that note there is the first note under the number 3 above. Let's sing that together, and lovely, lovely. And you can hear this is the first time we've changed from this chord to that chord, and it's a big moment. It's nearly 3 minutes of music at that point. We've just been building over this E minor chord, and now there is A major. Now let's pick it up from that note at figure 3, from the C sharp, and I'm now going to play and sing for you from 3, looking above the score, to 4. So it is. Okay, so it's basically the same thing either side and a little phrase in the middle. So just listen to the pitches from 3. It is 2, 3, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's sing together from 3 to 4, please, altos. Deep breath, and keep it all soft. Don't let it get weedy or anything like that, but do keep it all relatively quiet, because we're going to have a little crescendo in just a moment. So we're now at figure 4. If you look above the stave, you can see we're in the last 2 bars of page 5. We've just sung up to that note. We dropped down to the D, and so this is from figure 4 to figure 5. So it goes. Tell you what, there's more variety and beauty in this, just in this first 2 pages, really, of this section, than there is in many entire works for alto. So have a listen to from figure 4 again, just to the pitches. So let's go from figure 4, please, and let's sing this to an ready, and crescendo here, on, everyone. Now, given that that is all one really uninterrupted phrase, really, with lots of staggered breathing, let's sing, shall we, from figure 2 to figure 5. Okay? And if you like this, there is so much more beauty to come. So here we go. From figure 2, deep breath, and... 6. There we are. Fabulous. Now, I was breathing wherever I liked in that, and I would, honestly, just breathe wherever you like, okay? Just try and avoid breathing in the obvious place. So try not to breathe just before a change in style or a change in phrase. Breathe, just literally take a note out, take a breath, and come back in. All right, glancing at the comments, hello to Carolyn and a very happy birthday to you. I hope you have a lovely day. Now let's pick up, please, everyone, from figure 5. Figure 5. Now this is where we start to see a little bit of first and second alto splits, just a teeny bit on this page, and there is more to come in the next page or so. Okay, but we've just finished there on an E. Our next note at 5 is an F sharp, and so we sing. So that's both parts together. Nice deep breath, and lovely. We're still singing we will be changing to R shortly, but keep it still quite closed and very neutral. Now, we've got a first and second alto split on the bottom line of page 6. So let's have a look at the first alto part, shall we? Now, we just sang, so an F sharp and a D. Our next note, first altos, is in the middle of those first two notes of that phrase. So we sing. Okay, so it's just filling in nice harmonies. So from bar 23, bottom of page 6, and lovely. Let's go from figure 5 to there. First altos. Nice deep breath, figure 5, and excellent, well done. Now alto 2, it's just a little bit more straightforward even than that, fewer leaps. So from figure 5, then we come up by a tone, and then we hold that for 4 long beats. So listen to that again from 5. It is okay, let's sing that together, please. So this is second alto from figure 5. Deep breath. 1, 2. Super. And the only other thing to just point out there, please, everyone, is the diminuendo for both first and second alto. The diminuendo there, just at the end, as we're all holding that D, leading us towards figure 6. All right, everyone, fantastic. Quick sip of drink. Now, the more observant of you will notice that figure 6 quite a lot changes, and we've been just sort of setting the scene, really. Now, here we start to introduce much more beautiful melodies into the choir, and that is led by you altos. We also need to note a couple of things about the dynamics. So this is a bit loud. It's quite a lot louder actually than we've had so far. Your line is mezzo piano, which actually is louder than the violin. So at this point, the violin is decorating your line, altos. Enjoy it. Enjoy that particular moment. It's also marked express, which is not a coffee. It means expressive. So sing it in a really soulful, beautiful way. And one more thing to note before we actually learn the notes is the tempo marking is poco animato. So that means a little bit more animated. The tempo will move on just a little bit more, be a little less sort of generally washy and have a bit more drive behind it. So have a listen to your line. Those of you who know the Lark will recognize this tune immediately. It's normally played on the French horn. So we sing from just before 6. Nice deep breath. It's 1, 2, 3. Okay, that last bar is filling in with everyone, but everything up until that point, those 6.5 bars, it's all tune and it's all you. It's one of the lovelier pieces, really, for alto. Okay, we'll stop on the first note of the last bar at the top of page 7. So enjoy this, altos. As someone said in the comments, you are the bosses for a change, and you should really enjoy this. Nice deep breath, and... Now, you'll notice there are several instances where you have notes that are tied to other notes and they go across a bar line. And you know me, you've sung with me often enough to know that when we see notes like that, I want you to grow through the long note. So we get... to really tug on the heartstrings and bring out that expressive sound. Okay? Now, let's just pick up from the last bar at the top of 7. We will sing that again in a minute, but I want to run it through. So the last bar, top of 7, we join in with the rest of the choir, and we get a big, big moment with a whole load of parallel chords. The kind of thing that, as I say, if you wrote down in a formal music education for your composition teacher, they'd say, no, you can't do that, because that just sounds like monks. And they put a big line through it, but of course, Vaughan Williams, this is a big part of his sound. So we sing this last bar, top of 7, it is... And that last note there is the first note at figure 7. So let's sing. Here we go, and... Now, the one thing to note here is the dynamics. We're going to grow to the middle of that bar and pull away. Okay, and it's a big swell. It's really, really big. The other thing to note is that it will be a little bit slower, just pulling back a little bit tempo-wise in that last bar at the top of 7, because it's a big moment, leading us into a much quieter little section between 7 and 8. So let's just run that. Let's go back to the bottom of page 6, please, everyone. Back to Poco Animato, just 3 notes before the start of your lovely tune. And just enjoy this. We're going to go from just before figure 6 to all the way through to figure 7. Nice deep breath. Ready after 1 and 1. Now then, have a quick sip of drink. How's everyone doing? Where there are separate notes that are the same, for example, the F sharps on bar 29, do we sound them separately even though they are slurred? Yes, we do. Absolutely. Yes. If they're tied, you join them together. If they are repeated, you slur them together, but you do sound them. Absolutely. I'll just sing that for you again from bar 29 to make it really clear. So I know it's hard to hear the definition, but you do need to just put a little bit of diaphragm into that. Okay, there we are. Now then, we are at figure 7, and here, this is where we go from a very, very quiet sound through the section from figure 7 at the bottom of page 7 through to figure 8, and just notice in the 5th bar after 7 it says gradually open out to R, and this is where we go from this to R with a drop jaw and a much, much grander sound. So this is your line. So what we'll do, let's look at this line from the point of view of the first altos, and we're going to go from figure 7 at the bottom of page 7 to figure 8 at the top of page 8. Okay, so it goes. So we change from to R in the middle, that last bar of that page. So sing that with me, please. This is first altos from 7. Ready? And... fabulous. And that G is the first note at figure 8. Another really gorgeous moment. Now let's quickly just have a look at the second alto. It's almost exactly the same apart from the last 2 notes of the phrase. So it's... so we go down at the end. Let's just sing the last 3 bars, please, of page 7, starting on the lower note. So after 1 and 1. So notice we change from to R throughout. Okay, let's sing from figure 7, everyone. Let's do this from the second altos. Ready? Here we go. And... fabulous. Well done, everyone. Now we are at figure 8. And this is a big, big moment, just for 3.5 bars. And then we're back to a quiet sound again for the rest of this section. Now, notice it's a forte dynamic. It's also marked as sostenuto. Now, sostenuto means sustained. And what that means is rather than and letting the note die away, what we actually do is we sing through the note. So if we look at the first alto part... Okay, so my C can handle this. So it is. So all of those long notes, the F there, we keep the foot on the gas, as it were. Okay, we don't let the note die away, we push through. So listen to those pitches from 8. This is first alto. Diminuendo. There we are. So let's sing that together. This is figure 8, first alto, good and loud, deep breath, and... fabulous. Well done. Now second alto, we've arrived at figure 8 on an E. So we sing... those pitches again from the first note of figure 8. And diminuendo. Okay, so let's sing that, please, from figure 8, straight in, second alto. 1, 2. Fantastic. Well done. Now, let's carry on now. The fifth bar after 8, we are pianissimo with a crescendo that's going to lead us through to figure 9. So just be aware, these 2 bars will start quietly, but will crescendo to a big bang at the start of figure 9 before we pull back. Okay, so we've just finished that those 4 bars there after 8 on a G, which is getting quieter. Now, first altos. Okay, and that note is the first note of 9, so it is. Listen to that again, and make sure you're happy with that interval. Let's sing that together, and we hit that and pull away straight away. That's what FP means. Forte, then piano. So let's run, please. Let's go right the way back to figure 7, and we'll go from 7 to 9 for the first altos. Okay, ready? From figure 7, bottom of page 7. Nice deep breath, and absolutely, as they say round here, it's lush. It's lush music, it really is. Now then, second altos, just to remind you from figure 8. And then you go down a tone. And there's your forte piano. So just the last 2 bars at the top of page 8 with the crescendo. Fantastic. Well done. Now then, let's push on because we still have another couple of pages of this section before we can sing it all the way through. This is the most substantial of the 3 we're looking at today, without doubt. Now, so we're at figure 9, largamente. So this is a 4 bars where we're quite a bit slower than we have been up until now. We've arrived at figure 9 on a lovely C and E over an A minor chord, and this is the first really big, what we call modal shift. And basically what that means is Vaughan Williams puts in a really unexpected chord that shouldn't work, because we go from this to this to this. And I tell you what, I can't tell you how much I love that sort of shift. It's just heavenly. So I just enjoy this moment because you get a really nice line altos. So first altos, let's take you first altos from figure 9 to the end of the page. So you've just sung that E coming down from the preceding section. So it is okay, quite a few ideas put together, so just follow it again from figure 9, straight in on the E, so it is 1, 2, 3, and then okay, now that lilting Just make that all just so beautiful and cascading, like water just bubbling over a waterfall. Okay, now let's sing that please from figure 9 straight in on that E to an R. Ready? And fabulous. Well done first. Now let's have a look at the second alto part. So at figure 9, you've just sung a C at figure 9. So your note from figure 9 is okay. 3 sort of separate ideas. So coming in on the C, and then you move up. So let's do those 2 bars at figure 9, please, Alto. Straight in on the C, and lovely. And then we're up to an E for a bar. So just a doorbell there, 1 note per bar, and then a little ascending figure that starts a semitone below. With me, and lovely. So let's take that. Let's do the second alto part, shall we? Let's go 2 before 9. 2 before 9. Last 2 bars, top of page 8. Okay, straight in on an R. Thank you, second altos. Deep breath, and splendid. Remembering, of course, at the bottom of page 8, as you'll discover when we sing it through, the tempo's quite a bit slower, but then at our tempo, those last 2 bars on page 8, it pushes forwards again. Now, over onto page 9, everyone, and we're nearly through, very nearly through section 1, and we'll sing it through from both first and second alto perspective. And then section 2 is much shorter, and section 3 is shorter still. Okay, now then, now, first thing to note here on page 9, this is the first sighting, the first spotting of the lesser spotted alto soloist. Okay, don't talk too loudly or she'll get scared and run away. We will be singing the alto solo and we'll be looking at that on Thursday this week. For now, we're just going to look at the part that's marked at the bottom for you. So, of course, you're the 3rd line down here. The top line is the violin. You're the 3rd line down. You've got solo. And then it says others. Okay, others. You are all the others. First and second alto. So we've got 3 bars rather, 3.5, where you are others. Just bear that in mind. Now we've just finished there on this. That note you started, that'll run on the preceding page, is your note on R. Okay, and so you sing 2 bars of then the 3rd bar is listen to that again. Okay, here we go, and fabulous. And then a little bit of bird song just to finish the phrase where it's marked tutti, which again is everyone. We sing after 4, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Listen again. So it's 1, 2, and the violin, if you look above, the violin echoes you. So the entire alto line, bear in mind, there is an alto soloist. We're not going to worry about that until Thursday. In fact, we won't worry about it at all. It's a lovely line. But we're looking at the lower part and the first 3 bars, and then everything to the end of that line. So the alto part from figure 10 to figure 11 is One more time. Let's do that together. From figure 10 and... Fabulous. And this is, generally speaking, the start of the page is mezzo piano, dropping down to mezzo, drop down to pianissimo towards the middle of that line and staying very soft. Now, to finish off the section at figure 11, between 11 and 12, you sing a little bit of an echo to what the sopranos sing. The sopranos sing to an Okay, again, very famous tune. And what you're being asked to do here is... Now, I do concede there'll be plenty of second altos among you who think, there's no way that's coming out. What I might suggest is when you're humming and it's an intense sort of sound, there's usually a little bit more. In fact, I was actually able to make some sound. Normally, I can't get anywhere near that note. If it is too high, though, just leave out the D. I do need some of you, though, to sing that for me. If the D is too high, join in at the B and do the rest. Okay? So we're in after 11. It's 1, 2, 1. Fabulous. And then we're at figure 12. And this is an almost direct restatement of the opening. It's 1. So notice here the rhythm, everyone. The rhythm on the first one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in the second ascending figure, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay, just note the rhythm is different there, and that is for both first and second altos. Again, you hold that note nowhere near as long as you did in the first cadenza, but you do need to keep an eye on Charles's pattern. In particular, you're waiting for the... And then carrying on up. You're waiting for the high D, and then you stop singing. So there we go, altos. That is section 1, and it is substantial. We've gone through it from both a first and second alto perspective, and what I'd like to do is to sing them through. Then we'll look on at section 2, which is shorter, but a bit faster, and has some more brilliant tunes just for you. So back, everyone, please, to page, where are we? Page 5. And for those of you who want to jump into your recordings and just do these sections on your own, and I do recommend it as a practice, section 1 starts at 1 minute and 55 seconds through our guide tracks. And there's your notes. We're going to sing this through. This will be an alto 1 sing through, and I will play along on my piano here, and then we'll have a second alto sing through as well. All right, most important thing, though, is that you enjoy yourself. And remember, this is all saved. You can come back and sing this through later on again. So here we go. Skip it ahead. 1 minute and 55. I might go slightly further back, just to give us a bit of a run in. Here we go. And... figure 4 here. Crescendo. And down again. Deep breath, figure 5. alto one now. Diminuendo. Deep breath and melting. And the lower part for guitar. Figure 11 and figure 12 holding that note. Breathe wherever you need to. Ready? Gorgeous. Well done, everyone. Let's go back and sing the second alto part from the same place, and then we can push on with section 2. I hope you're enjoying it, and remember, this is all saved for you. Come back and sing along with it, and I do hope you enjoy recording it when the time comes. So back to section 2, which is the top of page 5. Have a quick sip of drink. Okay. So 1 minute 55 through. Ready and crescendo here and down. Our second alto is Well done, altos. Now, obviously, this is a really quite tricky piece, and you will need to come back over, watch this teaching again, spend time working on the trickier bits, sing it through a number of times, but we've broken it down into these sections so that you don't need to record a 15-minute take. You can do it in chunks, and oh my goodness, I hope you agree. It's going to be worth the effort. But that was a tricky section, so well done. Now let's have a look at the next section. It's just 3 pages and it's faster. There is a bit of first and, in fact, a fair bit of first and second alto split. So let's crack on with it, shall we? You get a little bit of tune here at figure 13, and we change from ms and oohs, ms and ers and ahs to do. Let me just check. Do you sing any of the words? Otherwise, you get to put some words in on page 13 just before the end of the section, singing till his heaven fills, but otherwise you're doing for me. And at this point we need to have the slight feel of pizzicato strings, not too much from your point of view, that's more for the basses, but just be careful as well when we come to this. It's not do 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 do. The words are actually written out quite carefully, so you have do 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 do. Okay, so it's not a do on every note. Just note the slurs and the horizontal lines which indicate where you're going to hold it for or sing it melismatically. Okay, melismatic do do do. So here we go. Your line is do 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 do. Okay, I'm going to sing that the octave lower. Do 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 do. Just sing that for me. And do 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 do. So 2 syllables on that last do. Do 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 do. Okay, let's do the whole thing. Let's do the whole thing 3 times in a row. Okay, I know it goes up to a D, but you can bring this out a little bit more. It's mezzo piano, and do just make sure that those high notes, don't undersing them, go for them. Okay, so here we go from figure 13. 1 2 do 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 do. And again, do 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 do. Now one more time, a little bit more bouncy, a little bit more sprightly. 1 2 do 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 do. Let's have it one more time at tempo, which is going to be do 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 do, and we want to emphasize the first beat of each bar to give it that dance feel. Ready, altos? Enjoy. 1 2 do 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 do. Lovely. I put the D's in the wrong place because I was concentrating too much on the piano part. Let's just sing it one more time. 1 2 do 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 do. Lovely. Thank you very much. Over the page. Now, first thing to note here, well, is to find out where you are on this page. If you look at the top of page 11, altos, you are the 4th line down. Okay, the 4th line down. We've got 3 solo parts at the top, and then we've got S, A, T, B. Now, the quick way to spot yourself in any scenario like this is to look for the brackets around the 4 choir parts. So if you look down just along the side there on the left, you can see the top 3 lines are just staves on their own, and then there's a thick black bracket grouping the 4 choir parts together, S, A, T, B, and you'll always be the second of those lines for the most part. Okay, the other thing to do is just, as I've just done, just to write in S, A, T, T, B down the side on those choir parts, so you can see instantly that you are the 4th line down on that particular system. That changes on the next line, so just be careful about that. Sorry, 5th line, not 4th line, 5th line down. So now we've just come across the page. Now this is the bar before 14. We sing do 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 do. Listen to that again. Let's do that together. And do, 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 do. And again, ready, and do, 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 do. One more time for luck. And do, 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 do. Fabulous. Now, we're about to split into first and second, so this is after figure 14, 3 after 14 in the polka rit bar. We're on an E, and we sing first altos, do, do, do. Okay, so that is the polka rit bar, 3 after 14, do, do, do. Let's sing that after 1, and 1, do, do, do. Excellent, thank you very much. So let's go, please. First altos from the bar before 14. Okay, are we ready? 1, 2. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. All right, fantastic. Thank you very much. And second altos. 2, 3, do, do, do. Same rhythm, same slight hold back before the long chord, but we just go 3 blind mice there. Okay, so let's go from bar 414, second altos. 1, 2, do, 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 do. Fantastic. Well done, altos. Now then, let us proceed on from figure 15. Now, we've got first and second alto split. Notice on this lower system on page 11, that's the lower group of staves, you are now the 4th line down. Okay. Then when we move up to page 12, you're the 5th line down again. And at the bottom of the page, you're the 3rd line down. It's really worth highlighting your part to put a little bit of colour. I've written in SATB so I can see instantly which part I'm jumping to. So just make sure you've got that marked in for me. Thank you, everyone. Now then, so alto 1 from 15 to 16. Okay, so it is. Do, 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 do. Okay, listen again. 2, 1, 2. Okay, now there's a note up which we'll look at in a minute, but let's sing that together, please. Alto 1 from 15. Ready? 1, 2. Fabulous. We'll carry on with that in a minute. Lower alto 2 from 15. It's do, 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 do. Listen again. Okay, so alto 2 from figure 15. 1, 2, do, 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 do. Fantastic. Thank you very much. We're now at figure 16, doing very, very nicely. Altos, just a couple of pages to go on this section. I told you it was quite a lot shorter. Now, alto 1, that first note of page 12 we arrived on is there. Now we go up and we sing, it carries on with a new do, as it were. Do, 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 do. Listen to those pitches again. This is the note before figure 16, second note for the first altos on page 12. So it's 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's sing that together. After 1, this is the second note on page 12 for the first altos. After 1, ready, and 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And again, same place, and 1, 2, 2, 2, Lovely job. Thank you very much indeed, first altos. Let's just run from figure 15 to figure 17 for first altos. Ready? 1, 2, do, do, do. Lovely, thank you. Second altos. So from figure 16, you've just sung an F sharp, and we go down then a tone. So from figure 16, it is do, 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 do. Excuse me. One more time. So from the same place. Do, do, do. Down to the B at the end. Let's sing that together from 16, figure 16, second bar on page 12, second altos. Ready? 1, 2. Fabulous. Let's do the second alto part from 15 through to 17. Bottom of page 11. Ready? After 2, 1, 2. Lovely, well done everyone. Now, figure 17, we're now singing again. Rather than ah. It says more open, so slightly more open than at the start. Let's pick it up from the first alto part, and we're going to do first alto from 17 to the third bar of page 13. So it is okay, listen to those pitches again. So it's okay, let's break that down into manageable chunks. Let's do the first 4 notes for first altos from 17. So it is at that high pitch. Ready, altos, and lovely. Now this bit's a bit trickier. Listen again. Okay, fabulous. So let's just sing that together. Ready? 1, 2. Fantastic. Well done. Now, people are asking in the comments, bars 91 to 94, all on one do? Yes. I mean, if in doubt, folks, sorry to be really blunt about it, just check on the score. If there are individual do's, then sing individual do's. In this case, it's a do with a horizontal line. That's your clue. When you look at the word, if there's a horizontal line after it and a slur, then that indicates that's to be sung melismatically. So we've got do, 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 ooh, 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 all on the one do. Okay, fabulous. Now, let's just sing, shall we please, from figure 17 through to the third bar of 18 for the first alto part. Ready? There's your notes. 1, 2. Excuse me, one more time. 1, 2. Lovely. We're nearly through this section. Now, the second alto part picks up from 17, everyone. Okay. Now, we've just finished singing a B. So we then sing. Okay. Now, let's do what we did before and break it down into easily digestible chunks. So from 17, it's 3 bars of C. So sing that for me. There's 4 bars after C, second altos, and then the last 2 bars of the page, listen. Sounds like bells. Sing that for me, and then over the page. Ready, and lovely. Put it all together, please, from 17, figure 17, bottom of page 12, and still to Ready, 1, 2. Excellent. Well done. Very, very well done. Now, what we'll do is we'll just crack on to this last page, and just bear with me a moment, altos. I'm just going to have a little look at section 3 and section 4 by comparison. Yeah, I think what we're going to do, altos, I wanted to get through section 3, but I'm just aware of the time and also how difficult this part is. I think what we'll do is we'll get to the end of page 13, we'll get to the end of section 2, and we'll do section 3 and section 4 when I see you on Thursday. And I just think this is a reflection of how packed this is for altos, particularly in these first two sections. Section 3 isn't quite as demanding, and section 4, I mean, it's got some tricky little bits, but actually, again, it's not as long, and we don't have as many solo parts. I think we'll do that. Let's be kind to ourselves, rather than try and pack it in. And this means we can sing this section 2 a couple of times and get used to it. So just bear that in mind. We'll finish after section 2 today. Now then, so we're in the third bar of 18. Okay, and we're all together here. Third bar after 18. So it is 1, singing with me, and singing. And this is a bit slower, so you can really enjoy the sort of sinuous feel of this. So one more time, nice and loud, and 1, singing. And then we have a beat to take a breath, and let's till his heaven fills. And we hit fills nice and loudly, and we pull back. Okay, so just listen to those pitches from the till his heaven. Okay, so let's sing that from the last two notes at the top of 13, till his heaven. And 1, till his heaven fills. And that's it for section 2. Now what we're going to do, everyone, we're going to sing section 2 twice per part. Okay, so we're actually going to end up singing it 4 times, twice as alto 1 and twice as alto 2. And that will be it for this afternoon's rehearsal. I will ask you to listen on later on today or tomorrow, and listen to sections 3 and 4 and just get the sound of it into your head. And there is another big chunk of first and second alto split, and section 4 is just gorgeous, but has some big stuff for you altos. But honestly, I just can't wait to hear this all come together. It's going to be amazing. So back to the bottom of page 10, please, everyone. This is the do, 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 do. So just to quickly revise it. Do, 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 do. Okay, I think it's one of the trickiest bits in the whole piece in terms of just getting the do's in the right place. So do have a check for that for me. And now let's sing it through. So we're going to pick it up from just before figure 13. Those of you who want to sing along with the tracks. Oh, yes. Yes, thank you. This is about 5 minutes 55 through the guide track. So let's just make sure we're happy with that. Fabulous. So we're going to go just before that. Here we go. And your note, as you heard, is there. So. And Now, I imagine all over the world that people are going, my goodness me, that was fast and that was complicated, and that's why we're going to do it again. In fact, we might even sing each part 3 times, and by the end of it, you'll be thoroughly sick of it, but that's fine, because if you're bored of it, it means you're happy with how it's going. Just note all those moments of flexible tempo where you need to really keep an eye on me and what I'm doing and really follow your guide track. All right, let's do that again. Okay, so we're going from figure 13. This is Alto 1 again. And ready. So we're listening out for the baritone solo first note, and there's our note. Deep breath, and... Eight. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Fabulous. Okay, I think just once more. Just once more. Same part, same place, figure 13, Alto 1, and then we'll do Alto 2. And I do think when we sing Alto 2, just because we've sung this Alto 1 part a few times, the tempo, of course, matches perfectly. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more straightforward. So, same place, bottom of page 10. Our note is there. 1 note lower than we finished on. Take a nice deep breath. Forwards. Fabulous. Okay, so that's Alto 1 3 times. Let's go back and sing Alto 2 at least twice. Okay, everyone? And of course, this means that you get to sing the opening part several times, which is, of course, I think the trickiest bit for you so far. So, Alto 2, Sarah's recording. Love Sarah Champion's voice. Okay, so we're going from the same place, bottom of 10, but this time it's an alto 2 sing through. And let's have Charles give us a few moments. Deep breath. Alto 2. I think once more, don't you? Yeah, of course you do. Once more, on to the reach, dear altos. And then we have sections 3, 4, and the solos to look at next time. Well, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So here we go. From section 13. Again, here we go. Okay, so altos, that is a big section for you, and well done. It's not been the easiest rehearsal, but I hope you've enjoyed it, and I really hope you're enjoying this piece. Just think about all the alto parts you've ever sung. Mr. Vivaldi springs to mind, where you sing Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis, that sort of thing. You can't complain that you've not got a good part here. There's a lot of notes, and it'll be well worth plenty of repetition, just as we did there. But the more you sing it, I do think the better it will be. Now, there's a couple of quick questions. Where do you want the G in singing? Generally speaking, when it comes to consonants, you want them butting up against the next vowel sound. Singing, singing. And obviously not a hard G, not singing. Singing, okay? Singing. And as been said already, follow the guide track if you can, because that's what we're going to be aligning your voices to at the end of the day. Now, fantastic work today, altos. You deserve a bit of a rest. If some of you are coming along this afternoon to look at the tenor part, I do think you'll enjoy that one as well. Plenty of opportunity for ten alto to be sung, enjoyed and recorded for this one, and I do hope to see quite a few of you there this afternoon, if nothing else, to just keep us company. But it will be Thursday afternoon when we see each other again, altos, to finish off this wonderful work. We'll be looking at sections 3, 4 and the solos. So we'll need to work swiftly and with a purpose, but there will be lots of opportunities for gorgeous gorgeous music. So looking forward to seeing you then. Hope you've enjoyed today, and do have a rest. Drink plenty of water. Carolyn, happy birthday to you. Hope you've had a great day so far, and I'll see you very soon. All the best. Take care, Altos. Bye-bye.